This is Misty Forest Bible Ministries, and this is Genesis chapter 37 out of the KJ3. And Jacob lived in the land of his father's travels in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, and a son of 17 years, was feeding flock with his brothers. With Belah's sons, with Zilpah's sons, his father's wives, and he was a youth. And Joseph brought an evil report of them to their father. And Israel loved Joseph more than all his sons, because he was a son of old age to him. And he made a tunic reaching to the soles of his feet. And his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, and they hated him, and they were not able to speak to him for peace. And Joseph dreamed a dream and told it to his brothers, and they added to hate him still more. He said to them, "Now hear this dream I have dreamed. Behold, we were binding sheaves in the middle of the field, and behold, my sheaf rose up and even stood up. And behold, my sheaves came around and bowed themselves to my sheaf. And to his brothers said to him, Shall you indeed reign over us, or shall you really rule over us? And they went still more to hate him because of his dreams and because of his words. And he dreamed still another dream, and told it to his brothers. And he said, Behold, I have dreamed another dream. And behold, the sun and moon and the 11 stars were bowing themselves to me. And he told it to his father and to his brothers. And his father rebuked him and said to him, Is this dream which you have dreamed? What is this dream which you have dreamed? Shall you indeed come to bow yourselves to the earth to you, you, your mother, and your brothers? And his brothers were jealous of him. But his father observed the word. And his brothers went to feed the flock of their father in Shechem. And Israel said to Joseph, Were not your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send you to them. And he said to them, Behold me. And he said to him, Now go see the welfare of your brothers and to the welfare of the flock, and bring word back to me. And he sent him out to the valley of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, What do you seek? And he said, I'm looking for any brothers. Please tell me where they are feeding the flock. The man said, They have left here, for I heard them say, Let us go towards Dothan. And Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. And they saw him from a distance, and before he came near to them, they plotted against him to cause him to die. And they said each to his brother, Behold, this master of dreams is coming. And come now, let us cause him to die, and throw him into one of the pits, and let us say, An evil beast have eaten him. Let us see if they will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard, and he delivered him from their hands, and said, Let us not smite his soul. And Reuben said to them, Do not shed blood, throw him into the pit in the desert, but do not lay a hand on him, so that he might deliver him from their hands to return him to his father. And it happened when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped his robe which was on him. Then Joseph the tunic reaching down to the soles of his feet, and they took him and threw him into a pit, the pit being empty, no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked. Behold, a caravan Ishmaelites, coming from Gilead, and their camels were bearing spices and balsam gum and myrrh, and going down to take them to Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, What gain is it that we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and do not let our hand be on him, for he is our brother, our flesh. And his brothers listened. And Midianites traders passed, and they drew up, and they took Joseph out of the pit. They sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben came back to the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he tore his clothes. And he returned to his brothers and said, the child is not, and I, where shall I go? And they took Joseph's tunic and killed a ram of goats, dipped the tunic in blood. Then they set the tunic reaching to the soles of his feet, and they took it to their father and said, we have found this. Now look, is it your son's tunic? And he knew it and said, my son's tunic, an evil beast has eaten him. Being torn, Joseph is torn to pieces, and Jacob tore his clothing and put sackcloth on his loins, and he mourned many days of his son. And all his sons and his daughters rose up to comfort him, and he refused to be comforted and said, I will go down to Sheol mourning for my son. And his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt to Potiphar, a eunuch of Pharaoh and chief of the executioners.